when they were trying to pretend that it's science-based. If it's science-based, you would know that the science says that COVID dies almost instantly with contact with sunlight. So
I know
why
that
can't people go outside?
I know that kind of bummed me out with all the like locking down public beaches and stuff. It's like, yeah, it makes sense that you don't want people congregating in big crowds necessarily, but it's like, if you're going to lock down, you have to do it sustainably in a way that like people can actually live that way. And like going outdoors is kind of one of the best ways to make it sustainable. Because like people can spread out, they can still feel happy and like, you know, get
and
some
you
sunlight.
get vitamin D, which is one of the best things to combat COVID. They found that 84% of the people in the ICU with COVID had insufficient levels of vitamin D. Only 4% had sufficient levels.
Huh. I wonder, is that what's true in the normal population? Like, are most people just deficient?
Most people are deficient. It's a giant problem with people in general. And they think it's a giant contributing factor to low immune systems. Weakened immune systems because of vitamin D is apparently a huge issue with we're just not designed, first of all, to wear clothes.
Be indoors all the time.
Second of all, to be indoors. Yeah, we evolved to be outside.
Actually, I think really pale people like us probably do need clothing. Like, you know, because if we're outside all the time, my skin would be in trouble.
Well, we're pale because our ancestors lived in Europe. They moved to a climate from
where they
Africa.
Needed clothing.
Yeah, that's what's weird. It's like we're just basically like a solar panel for vitamin B, or vitamin D rather. That's the reason why we're white.
Yeah, totally.
Because we needed more vitamin D than we can get.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Totally.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's also the reason why brown folks and black folks have a much harder time with COVID with vitamin D levels. Like my friend is a doctor, and he said that he was working in New York City, and some of the patients that he had that were black people, he would test them, and they had indetectable levels of vitamin D.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
is
because
that
cold environment.
Is it true that the dark-skinned folks generate less vitamin D? I mean,
yeah, I guess, from the sun.
Yeah, from the sun.
Because vitamin D is one of the rare things that we actually require sunlight to generate. And the reason why black people have it, obviously, is when you're from really hot climates.
Totally.
Your body is actually
really sunny
needs to
climates.
be protected, and you're getting plenty of vitamin D, but your body's protected from the dangers of the sunlight with more melanin. And so the darker skin gives you less vitamin D, but you're getting plenty because you're outdoors
because you're in the sun so much. Totally.
And you're probably a lot of your skin is exposed. Yeah. Yeah. So
I
he was
never even
explaining
thought about that
to me how important it is for darker skinned people to supplement with vitamin D. It's a huge issue. Yeah, and just most people need vitamin D.
Yeah, I mean, if you're living indoors all the time, it's kind of like, it's tough.
Well, it's a hormone too. That's what's weird about vitamin D. It's not really a vitamin; it's a hormone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they call it vitamin D, but it's an actual hormone, and it's responsible for a lot of different things in the body. Not just your immune system, but it's brain function. It's responsible for muscle tissue development. There's a lot going on with vitamin D.
I've never even thought about it that much. I'm just like,
I know you're a vegetarian, but do you supplement? Do you take vitamins at all?
Not that much, actually. The last couple of months I've been taking athletic greens. Do you know what that is?
Oh, I love that stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty into it. I know it's really good.
It's really good.
Actually they sponsor my podcast, and so I started using it because I was like, oh cool, they're like getting on board with the podcast.
Yeah.
And then but now I've like gotten really into it. I think I'm it's like one of those classic things that feels really helpful, and like the more I do it, the more I'm like, I think this might be helping. Like
it's
I feel
super
pretty good.
Legit. I mean, they've worked on the same formula for over 10 years. This is the 53rd iteration of athletic greens.
I know. I kind of like that. They're just constantly improving it rather than like rolling out different products.
Exactly.
It's just like this is a good product that just continues to get better. I respect that.
I love that stuff. I bring those travel packs with me everywhere.
Yeah, I did for the jungle.
Yeah.